Alright, so this is part 2 of the reparations video. And if you haven't seen part 1 yet, watch that first for a little context before you come here. I first want to discuss parts of history where there were opportunities to pay reparations, and there was no follow-through, so let's go into that. So after the Civil War, Union leaders concluded that each black family should receive 40 acres and leftover mules from the war. It was called Field Order 15, and it basically gave 400,000 acres of confiscated Confederate land to these black families. But President Johnson reversed Field Order 15, and so that land was just given right back to the white people. After World War II, black veterans could not redeem any post-war benefits like white veterans could. So only white soldiers were given the chance to build wealth by sending themselves and their kids to college, along with obtaining business and housing grants, while black soldiers could not. Also, back during the Great Depression, Franklin Roosevelt, he had the opportunity to get all of America out of the Great Depression, but due to the lack of legislation to help black Americans in their jobs, it was mostly white America that was propelled out of the Great Depression, and black Americans were just left to the side. So there were chances, they just didn't want to do it. So let's look into what reparations could be in 2022. During my research, I found a list of 5 categories of reparations that was listed by the United Nations. So let's go into that real quick. I'm gonna look at my notes here real quick, okay? The first category is restitution, and this basically means to help restore a community or a person back to the original situation before any evils took place. And this would mean restoration of liberty or the returning of residence or property. Category number 2 is satisfaction, and this basically means to tell the real truth about history along with judicial and administrative sanctions, along with the recovery and reburial of remains. Number 3 is damages compensation, and so this is compensation for any economical damage, whether it was physical, material, or moral harm or loss of earnings. Category number 4 is rehabilitation, and this means giving medical, psychological, and social services along with legal assistance. And category number 5 is guarantee of non-repetition, and this is basically ensuring that these evils will never happen again. But Tori, why do we need to pay reparations? It's not our responsibility. Well then stay tuned for part 3, because it's going to be talking about why we should be paying reparations and what it could possibly look like in America right now. We still have more to cover. Stay tuned.